and yes, my face looks a little flat because I'm using a Boseman screen recorder, and for some odd reason, whenever I turn this phone up to this, it's the opposite way, and I don't like that one bit. But so we're gonna be doing an article on Black Panther's Chadwick Boseman, who want his role recast, his brother says. Let's talk about this for a moment about Chadwick Boseman before we get to this article. Now, I haven't heard of Chadwick Boseman until the Black Panther character was cast in the role. I heard about the Black Panther when he was cast in, as T'Challa in Captain America Civil War, when he first made his debut, and it was really incredible. Him and the fight he had with Captain America was really made me a fan of Black Panther even more. Plus, he came back in Captain America or Marvel's Avengers Infinity War, which is based on the comic. So his presence was known in the MCU, but when he got his film debut, The Black Panther, which made so much money in the box office, despite its issues when it came to the CGI towards the end fight with Killmonger. Now, ever since then, Chadwick Boseman has been blowing up in Hollywood, and he's one of those minority of celebrities that cares about people. Not to mention, he pretty much cares about the fans as well. And I can't forget about the time while he was fighting cancer in 2016 when he went to visit Children's Hospital, the fan who was fighting cancer and battling cancer while Chadwick was fighting cancer at the same time. So he had to put on this big boy, brave face on and just make the world think that he's strong. But in reality, the cancer that is in you is in you up alive, and it will kill you. So I think that's what Chadwick Boseman, for the most part, couldn't really hide. But I think for this case, when it came to this Black Panther role, he fought really strong, and he was one of the strongest brothers I've ever seen in Hollywood. Despite being sick, he kept on filming, he kept on rolling, and he gave us some of the most iconic roles. But I think his breakout roles in Black Panther is what really made him a breakout star, to be honest with you. So let's get to the article. When Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman died in August 2020 of colon cancer, there was no question that the actor couldn't be replaced in fans' hearts, which Disney owns Marvel's Entertainment, was quick to say that while the studio might use the superhero title Black Panther for another character, they honor Boseman by not casting anyone to play T'Challa, the Wakanda king who held the Black Panther title in the 2018 film. And you know what? Let me just say this though. There's gonna be people all over the world that still does not want Chadwick Boseman to be recast because it is one of his breakout roles in Black Panther, and he definitely brought the character to life in the MCU. And if it wasn't for Chadwick Boseman, we wouldn't have a Black Panther we know and love and appreciate today. So, like I said, there's gonna be more people out there that are against the recasting of Chadwick Boseman, but I think for the most part, this is really interesting to say the least. That's not exactly new to superhero lore. Hero titles get bounced around from person to person all the time, especially in comics. But now that more than a year has passed since Boseman's death, some fans seem to be willing to consider the idea for another actor to play not just Black Panther, but T'Challa himself. One of those people was in Boseman's own brother, Derek, who told DMC that he thinks his brother would be okay with a new T'Challa. You know what? Here's the thing about Hollywood and the whole recasting of the late actor that played the most iconic roles in filming history. You really don't want to mess that up, because if you mess up one character that made that moment come to life, there's gonna come a point in time where you're gonna have to just do what you gotta do to recast that person that played that iconic character in the sequel or the future installments, to say the least. But I think for the most part, his brother was nice enough to talk to TMZ about the possible recasting of T'Challa while Chadwick Boseman is no longer with us. So I think that would be a good idea, because if you're going to make a Black Panther sequel, you're gonna have to recast T'Challa, because you can't just make a movie without the Black Panther in it. Since the sequel is called Black Panther Wakanda Forever, there has to be a Black Panther character in the film. So if they want to cast Chadwick Boseman, recast the brother in the sequel, I would say go for it. According to TMZ, Boseman's brother says Chadwick thought T'Challa was bigger than just himself and knew the power of the character and the positive influence he carries. Exactly. And you know what? I think that's the most interesting part about this article, when it says this part right here about how much of a positive influence he has in Hollywood. And you know, Chadwick Boseman is a Christian as well, so we gotta also remember that he's also a Christian. And you know, based on his body language and his positive energy, you know he's, you know, one of God's people. And I think he definitely made the Black Panther community very strong. And despite having to battle such a deadly disease while filming in action movies and stuff, but he held on until his last breath. And I can't remember a time when I saw those horrific photos of Chadwick in a wheelchair, so thin and so ready to pass on the way to the hospital. I cannot forget the time when I saw that on Inside Edition, which really broke my heart to see, because it just sucks to see your superhero like this in real life. You know, he defeated enemies in the TV show and films, but couldn't defeat the enemy in real life that is inside your system, that is going to take your life forever. But it's unfortunate that, you know, God brought him home, and his memories will continue to be honored by many. So yeah. And though he says his brother never overly expressed what he thought should happen with the character, he's sure Chadwick would want the influential T'Challa to live on. Now, I think that's what I would have done if I became a hero on some TV show or movie or whatever. If something were to happen to me, I would want somebody to recast me and reprise my character. But if it's done right, then I would consider it. So I think, for the most part, I think that's what Chadwick Boseman would have wanted the most. If somebody were to recast Black Panther, he would be thrilled, and he would be super supportive of that as well. So you cannot deny that. Some fans want that too. A Charge.org petition urging Marvel Studios to recast T'Challa has more than 43,000 signatures as of Tuesday. Of course, such petitions have no real power, but they can reveal whether the fans would be supportive of such a big change. You know, it's something about these petitions that really makes me question, like, you're willing to go out and support such a big thing and a big cost, but I think for the most part, petitions will ever do it. Not unless you have to call the company and talk to Kevin Feige about recasting Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. And there is one point, the rumor that somebody was the potential, well, someone, let's just say that someone was the potential actor for the role of T'Challa in the sequel. And I was going to do a video about this a while back, but it's unfortunate that nothing came about. But yeah, I mean, whoever it is, whoever it does recast Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa and Black Panther, I will hope to God that they will bring Black Panther to life, just like how Chadwick Boseman did during his time on Earth. The petition knows that recasting T'Challa is not a call to replace Chadwick Boseman, added. No one could ever do that. And it's open to characters such as Shuri T'Challa's younger sister taking up the Black Panther title, but it argues that T'Challa has history and significance in black culture. T'Challa's character was only scratching the surface with his story in the MCU, and there is no much more left to tell, potential reads. Well, speaking of Shuri, well, his younger sister, I wasn't really a fan of her character. I don't know if she's going to end up bringing that Black Panther to life in the sequel. We'll have to wait and see how that goes when the film comes out. But until then, I'm not sure how to feel about it. Black Panther sequel, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, is far enough along in production that it wouldn't be affected by any decision about the new T'Challa. That film is scheduled for November 11, 2022. Alright, so what are my thoughts on the T'Challa character and recasting Chadwick Boseman's character? I think they should do that, but you cannot replace Chadwick Boseman, the actor who brought him to life originally. But what you can do is recast T'Challa to play Black Panther. So I think for the most part that would have been something that the fans would want. You don't want to just do the sequel and not have the Black Panther inside the movie. Because without T'Challa, it wouldn't be called Black Panther. So, yeah, man, rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. Shout out to the GOAT. He gave us so many iconic films, the James Brown documentary, and he did some movie, I don't know if it's called Blood Thunder, but I think he was really thin in that film as well. So I think that was one of his last movie roles before he passed on. And yeah. May he rest in peace. Thank you, Chadwick Boseman, for giving us Black Panther and giving us your best work in your acting career. And you definitely gave us memories that we can cherish forever. So, y'all enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this article, and if you want this also, it will be in the description as well as my social media platforms. So make sure you guys go follow me as well. And yeah, I'm out of here.